I'm looking for someone that wants to be my adventure buddy, and it's someone that I can trust in and is going to be there for me.
Come on.
She made a great case. She didn't. These guys are just shallow. It just shows you that they're the ones with unrealistic standards, right? They're vain. So this I saw on, I think it had 60 million plays on X.
Wow. Jeez.
And I saw the reactions. Now, there is a reveal, and then that a lot of people don't know. So the clip on X, I believe, had 60 million, or maybe it's 60 million impressions. Someone can correct me. Then I went and watched the original video on YouTube, and at the time it had barely 200,000 plays. There's a discrepancy. Sometimes context just makes it worse, makes your initial assumption, right, it strengthens it. Sometimes context changes everything. And sometimes context shows you the people taking advantage of the out-of-context clip to be exactly who you assume them to be. In this case, feminists. In this case, people who blame young men for nearly everything. So in this clip, you're going to watch it. It's a dating show where they go up to a group of men and they present themselves, and the men decide if they want to date her or not. The argument, and I'll show you after on X, was, I never want to hear about young men being lonely or the manosphere again. This chick is awesome. It shows you that these men don't actually care about cool qualities, and this shows you they deserve to be lonely, right? The blame was placed squarely on the men from this clip. And I didn't even feel that way when I watched the original clip. When I watched the entire one, I actually, I think it's more subversive, and those misrepresenting it, it's more evil than I had initially understood. So let me ask you this, just right now, taking away any of the context, would you date this woman, or would you blame all of these men for not wanting to?
Okay, I'm Rylie. I'm 24. I'm from Houston, Texas. And honestly, I'm down for any good adventure. I just got scuba dive certified, and I'm planning to go to Australia this summer, so I'm super excited about that. And then I just picked up skiing like 2 years ago, and I honestly love any themed party. Like, those are like my favorite things to go to, my favorite things to plan. And I'm looking for someone that wants to be my adventure buddy, and it's someone that I can trust in and is going to be there for me.
Aww.
If any gentleman would like to get to know Rylie more, please step forward.
Some people seem surprised. I'm not.
They're nervous.
Come on, guys.
Anyone. Come on.
Hey Rylie, we're gonna have you sit down, but thank you.
Nobody. Now, it's really easy to watch this initially and go, poor thing, right? It's hard to put yourself out there. I get it. And of course, the response here was that, well, when these men are faced with a great prospect, you know, everything they claim that they want, they're shallow and vain because she's not as attractive as some of the other ladies. I don't agree with that, even with this clip without context. But let me give you some examples of what people were putting online. They were saying, man, Rylie sounds so fun, and I couldn't believe no one stood up. Those boys must be too boring for her. Erica Miller, Rylie, if you read this, they are just boys who were insecure and didn't feel like they could hang with your awesomeness. Someone else responding, Rylie having personality, LOL. They are not likening, I think it means liking. It is a red flag. So red flag, she has a great personality. She doesn't. She made a great case. She didn't. These guys are just shallow. It just shows you that they're the ones with unrealistic standards, right? They're vain. I'm gonna replay the video, but not right now. First, I'm going to give you the reveal, because if you think, hey, all these things are great, right? Unfortunately, men are visual creatures. And even though she makes a great case and she's everything that a man figuratively would want and seems really fun and cool, what, just because she's not a smoking hot 10? Well, here's the thing. When you watch the whole video, it's blind. There's a curtain. They never saw her.
Okay, I'm Rylie. I'm 24. I'm from Houston, Texas. And honestly, I'm down for any good adventure. I just got scuba dive certified.
Actually, take that down. We'll restart it with the curtain. So now, something that we don't have to argue about, that has been established. It has nothing to do with their looks. In other words, every single man, to the number, to the decimal, every single man there heard something they did not like, that was not attractive to them. It was done blind. Could we maybe look, now we could blame all the men, but we can't blame them for being shallow. We can't blame them for being horn dogs who are looks focused. In other words, their problem was with her personality. Now you may like it, but let me ask you this. Why do you think all men there didn't? Just to be clear, this is also a Mormon dating show. And so I would imagine that most of these men are probably looking for a wife, something more traditional, if you go and watch the entire show. Not all, but as a general rule. So now it gets to the question, hey, why? Why is it a hard pass from every single one? I'll tell you exactly why. Women hear this and go, oh gosh, she sounds fun. The men hear that and go, expensive, requires constant entertainment, will be easily bored, and you know what else? Every single thing is I, me, and looking for someone to do X for me, at no point availing what they offer a man. And it's done blind. Matter of fact, let's go back, let's watch it, and let's count how many times she discusses what it is she likes and what she is looking for, in contrast to when you're usually auditioning, whether for a role, interviewing for a job, or a first date, putting your best foot forward. It never even occurs to her. And we'll revisit what the men, I guarantee you, are thinking. Let's play it.
Okay, I'm Rylie.
1,
I'm 24. I'm from Houston,
2,
Texas.
3, 4.
And honestly, I'm down for any good
5,
adventure. I just got scuba dive certified, and I'm planning to go to
7,
Australia this summer, so I'm super excited about that.
8.
And then I just picked
9.
up skiing like 2 years ago, and I
10.
honestly love any themed party. Like, those are like my favorite things to go to, my favorite things to plan. And I'm looking for someone that
Are we 11?
wants to be my adventure buddy, and it's someone that I can trust in and is going to be there for me.
Are we at 15?
Yeah.
I wanted to go first because I thought
Okay.
all of these amazing people I'm
Oh,
with, I got
I didn't
to know
see
them
this
before
part.
the show, are literally amazing, and I felt like I needed to stand up and put myself out there first, so
20.
I could like at least put myself out there, and there was a chance.
Okay, if any gentleman would like to get to know Rylie more.
Now pause. Why do you think all the women are going, yeah, that's great, and every single guy is thinking, not for me? Does that make them pieces of shit? Or, let me ask you this. Is she looking for someone to give a whole lot, and at no point does she offer anything? And I don't know if you know this, you get 0 points for putting myself out there and just telling them what I am. Yeah, if you're looking for a mate, if you're looking for someone to spend the rest of your life with or something serious, you also need to put out there what's going to be a net benefit for the person. Why would they sign up with you? And this is the difference in what men and women are taught. Men are taught, hey, you better bring a lot to the, hey, you better provide, you better protect. Women expect A, B, and C. No man is told you can be a stay-at-home dad, do nothing, live in your mom's basement, and as long as you put yourself out there, you'll find true love. There's somebody for everybody. Women are told, just put yourself out there, and if he doesn't like it, it's his fault. But is it every single man's fault? It seems like she's looking for a walking wallet. It seems like, I'm telling you what the men are thinking. They're thinking expensive. They're thinking seemingly no experience or time for spending on relationship skills and qualities, and seems to only think of herself, but seems to think that it's cool. Australia, skiing, scuba diving, themed parties, and I'm looking for someone to be there for me. You think a guy who runs a company, you think a guy who has his stuff figured out is going to have time for all of that, or do you think he might want a little rest? Do you think this might have gone a little bit differently if she stepped up and said, I do like to travel and I like to have fun, but I like to cook. I have a good close circle of friends. Sometimes I'm happy being at home. I love children, and I'm really looking for someone who, obviously loves me and I can support, and we both make each other better. You think maybe a hand would go up considering it's blind? That's not a cool personality, just so you know, to a guy. For a wife. Now, it could be in addition to, but at no point does she list any of the qualities that a man would, and by the way, should be looking for. Let me ask you this. If it's your son, if it's your brother, and they pick this woman, and they get married, and 2 years down the line, she leaves him for a scuba instructor, and you're talking to your son, and you find out that she was into those theme parties were Wiccan or whatever the hell it is, right? The point is, she decides that she's bored, and she's telling you she gets easily bored, and she decides she wants something more. And then you find out that your son and her didn't have discussions regarding values, that your son and her didn't have discussions regarding faith, regarding the appropriate roles in the household and how they're going to raise a family. Wouldn't you say, hey, what were you thinking? Oh, no, I just want a travel buddy. The issue for me is how we vilify those. They're just saying, okay, no, not for me. And they're the bad guys. If you're going to argue that anyone would be taking advantage or would be predatorial, it would be the woman who clearly cannot afford all of these activities and wants a man who can support her so she can do more. She wants a lot. Maybe she can give a lot. So maybe this is the lesson. Maybe she has a lot to offer, but she listed 0 there. So, young lady, and I mean this, maybe next time when you approach, don't just make it about what you expect someone to do for you, but what you provide for them. You know, esteeming the other one first, what you're supposed to do in a meaningful relationship. And this is why young men are checking out. Because in a blind dating game, when they basically, let's be honest, reject her soul, if anything else, not her looks, her soul, her general spirit, her demeanor, which they view as selfish and expensive, the man is blamed. The man is blamed for actually looking further than skin deep. But she's praised for only discussing herself and gimme, I want, I need. And that'll bring us to the next segment as to why young men are instead choosing pornography and checking out of dating.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that point for just a second. So I think it was really funny, the conversations going around the office this morning on this. My initial reaction was like, that is how you don't do it.
Right.
Like, and I'll give some grace. Like, you have 1 minute or however long they were given, 30 seconds to kind of present yourself. And I was like, listen, if you're trying to make yourself like seem like you're fun to be around or something like that, like you're not a stick in the mud or something, fine.
Fail.
But don't make the entire thing that. Like, you just listed all the things that basically are just about you. It's like, this is the problem, I think, with dating right now. This is the surface level stuff that people are talking about initially. Start flicking the jab immediately. Do you know when things changed for me? You know, I was single for quite a long time. I dated, but I never was in any long-term relationships. Longer than I should have been. The jeans and the missing tooth.
Yeah, the pattern, the fleur-de-lis pattern on the jeans.
Kind of, yeah.
And the missing tooth.
I got a lot of guys asking me out, which was weird. I'm not gay.
But you still got some pretty good-looking dates because you are tall. That was your saving grace.
Tall. And I didn't have those flick the jab conversations early.
No.
I had, let's do surface level. Let's just, I just want to start kind of dating. And honestly, it just led me to be more miserable and more frustrated in the process. So if you're single, flick the jab early. What are your priorities? What are your values? What, if you believe in God, what does your faith tell you that I'm going to align with over there that makes sense for us to be a couple? Like, get into those things. And it doesn't have to be like the jab that I flicked was I talked about something related to missions.
Yeah.
The night I met my wife, and I wanted to see, does she lean in or does she change the subject? If she leans in, we can keep going. If she changes the subject, I'm not even going to ask for a phone number. That's the kind of stuff that you have to do. Unfortunately, what this girl did was what so many people are doing. Don't lead with I, me. You can say, I love skiing, I love this, but I am looking to find a man so that I can, and tell what you're going to provide. It's very helpful.
Even beyond values. Let's say someone's not a Christian. That is a walking red flag. Okay, these are very expensive activities. You are guaranteed. Men hear that go, okay, expensive, needs to constantly be stimulated, and I will have to revolve my life. These are activities that require the life revolving around it. Right? She's not looking to be a supportive partner. She's looking for someone to be her travel buddy. Okay, well then just that's not going to be a marriage. I don't know if you know this. Not a single mother of 2, 3, 4-year-olds in one calendar year gets certified in scuba diving, goes to Australia, goes skiing regularly. Like, this is not something that's possible because there's only so much time in the day, and the preparation for that needs to be actually taking very seriously what is required to perform those domestic duties if you're looking to have a meaningful marriage. Not the entire household can't work around travel buddy. And it seems men hear that and go, expensive, exhausting, and requiring constant entertainment. That's what young men think.
Let me just put it this way. I didn't think those things, but I thought no substance. Right. So I think
That
you're probably
too.
more right. Yeah. No, but I don't
Yeah.
mean that as a slight to Rylie. I'm sure like if you given more time to have a conversation, there may be a lot more going on there. I'm just saying if you have a limited window to make
Yeah.
a pitch, this is the wrong way to make the pitch to get guys to be interested in what you're saying. That was just a really bad thing. Now let me say this. I don't agree 100% that this was all about everything that you said. I agree probably like 80%. So I'm very, very close to that. There's another thing, voice. Guys heard her. I'm
No,
sorry,
seriously,
Rylie, your voice.
that's my whole thing. My whole
That's
thought
part
on the
of it.
entire thing is
It's a part of it.
is if it was me, the context of what she's saying, it wouldn't have mattered. She could have said, "I'm looking for a guy who's 5'9", 275 pounds. He likes baseball, watches it too much, and eats Frosted Flakes in bed."
And I would have supported that.
I would be like, "Yeah, that's me." But I can't listen to that. I can't.
Well, here's it. Come on, guys.
No, I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean.
no.
And I feel bad just because I feel bad for her. But
Yes, of course. Well, why though?
But
Why do we feel bad
I
for
don't
her?
think that makes me a bad person just because I'm not coming out. I mean, we're talking about it here, but if I was on that show, I wouldn't be like, no, hell no, your voice sucks and I hate you for it. No, it's just
No.
it's just that I think that I have the right. I think a man has the right
Of course.
to not. To have a preference in how you sound every day when you talk. If I want to hear you talk sweet to me,
Yeah.
whisper in my ear in bed, I don't want that. I don't want this weird throat lispy sound.
You don't want the
I'm
Budweiser
sorry,
frog?
No, I don't. I think that's.
I don't think that's for you it may be, but I don't think that's it because there were other women there who had there was a woman from Georgia who had a voice like she kind of sound gumpy like this, but the guy there were guys who liked her because let me give you. She's like, cool thing about me, I can bench one plate. I like guy goes to the gym too, but I'm good at X. And then the guy said, "Have you spent time at the beach?" "No, in Georgia, the beaches are gross. They're brown. They're disgusting." Like, "Oh, maybe have you ever been to the beach in Hawaii?" "Oh, I'd love to try going there." And a man is going, "Okay, this is someone who isn't so tainted by the worldly experience where nothing's going to be enough." Now, here's the thing: feminists will say that's control. You want someone who's naive, who you can brainwash. But the Bible says, "Woman of my youth." Why? Because you're supposed to grow together. A woman isn't supposed to go out there and gain worldly experience and have some scuba certified instructor grab her tits, then go to the Maldives or go to the Andes, but not the Cannibal Andes, the one that's cool with the tourist spots, like the Hard Rock Cafe,
yeah.
and then decide that you can be the new wallet to fund all of these activities. It's not control. It's not that a man has low self-confidence. It's that a man wants a woman who he can introduce to and share these experiences with.
Oh, you can't get work off next week? Oh, that's too bad. I'll be in France.
Yeah. And I understand. And yes, you absolutely have the right for
Yeah,
a voice
I think it's
preference,
just-
but I don't think
yeah.
that's what's happening here.
Especially when it's the first gal that stood up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you hear that voice and you go,
like, eh.
I don't. Yeah, I really don't care what your favorite song is.
Do you think that woman's ever been asked, hey, okay, great. What do you bring to the table? I'm really fun and I'm adventurous. Yeah, but what do you bring to the table that would make a man want to pick you? Well, I like to travel. Yeah, but what do you bring to the table that would make a man want to pick you who's looking for a wife?
Well, there's this other thing too that feminists have done. They've coined this phrase "pick me girl," and I'm not too familiar, so I don't want to speak out of turn on it. But from what I understand, it's a girl who tries too hard to impress the boys and basically throws the other girls under the bus just to be the one girl that's picked by the boys and stuff. And later in the episode, in that episode of that show, she said at the end, she goes, she's talking about how no one picked her. She goes, "Yes, I want to be the kind of girl that they pick me, and not that I'm a pick me girl." So it's like there's a little bit of them
There's hesitation,
inside of them that has been brought to them from other women, telling them, "Hey, don't be a pick me girl. Don't be the girl who's trying to get picked because f you for."
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. She's not a pick me because all the women go, "That's so great."
Right.
For you think it's cool to have. Oh my gosh, Rylie, she's just super. She travels. Where is she right now? She's in Barcelona. Yeah. And that's not something that a guy wants. That's not what the guy is looking for. Maybe he might like to travel with you a little bit, but it seems like you've had your life, your agenda set in stone, and at no point does she even consider making the case as you would when trying to woo anyone else. Future employment, a spouse, a friend. Hey, this is how I'll improve your life. But she is asking for a multitude of ways in which a man would improve her life. Revolve around her.
Yeah.
I watched quite a bit of it, almost the whole thing, and I wanted to point out two guys that really stuck out to me. One guy who did not get picked by any woman. He went up there and he talked about himself a little bit, tried to be funny, and was painfully unfunny.
Yeah, women don't like that.
Women do not like that, fellas. If you're not a funny dude all the
try.
time, if you're not naturally, without trying, don't do it. Yeah, so he's painfully unfunny, and no one picked him. And no one's complaining about that. No one's going, hey, the guy put himself out there, he told corny jokes, and he embarrassed himself, and no one cares.
Yeah.
No, he went back, sat down, no one cares.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, who got picked by 4 women, went up there, and he talked about how he is into surfing. He said that he's tall. He said, I'm 6'2".
There you go.
And as soon as he said I'm 6'2", the girls were like, they were literally doing that to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
And 6'2" mentioned how he did charity work, and they're like, oh,
Say
he does
puppies.
charity work for other people when he's in Hawaii. And then the one that got me was when he goes, and I'm looking for a co-captain. You know, I have a boat that blah 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 blah, and
Yeah. Yeah, of course. No.
then all of them want to go, oh, I want the guy who does charity work, looks out for other people, has a good job, has a master's degree, and
Yeah.
is gonna have a good job, and he's tall, and he's probably handsome, and oh, by the way, he has a boat.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the least important facet there is the charity work. They're like, co-captain? I guess it's a joint checking account in this household.
Ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
I don't know if that means anything culturally, but I think that was funny to
Yes, it does.
to point out the 2 differences between one guy who got picked by 4 girls and
Yeah, yeah. And
no,
the
I
thing
mean,
is, there can be no argument that these men were being were being looks focused or vain or shallow. That's just not a. But that is a.
that's the
claim.
implication from the clip.
hold
That's the
on. Out of
implication
context.
from the clip.
Let me give you the 1%.
And shame
where
on the
you
person who
might-
did that.
Hold on. You might be wrong. You might. She said in that clip, I got to know all of them prior to the show.
Well, if it's like
I'm
the old
wondering-
dating game where you talk from behind a curtain.
No. I know that's on the show, but she's like, I got to know all these people before the show. So I don't know. Even if that was the case, though, I think you can get past that because it's unknown. But I want to be fair. Like if
Sure.
she did meet all of them before the show,
That's a voice
I
you don't
would've-
forget.
I would have marked that voice as the person not to stand up for.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Guarantee
Especially
you
if
if
she
she-
talked
yeah.
like that, not just the voice, but
Yeah.
like if she said those same things. And I think I'm coming from a place of like I want Rylie to find love. I'm sad for her. I'm disappointed for her. If she's buying the lie that that's what she needs to be. If
Yeah.
she truly is that and she's never going to change, then I'm not sad for her. You have to change.
Right, yeah.
You have to go through, you got to hit rock bottom. You got to face plant to Mount Singlemore and never leave it until you change so that you can be attractive to somebody else. But if this was just like, I don't know how to put myself out there and I was really nervous and I just started talking about these things to seem
Yeah.
fun, that's not what guys want. So
That's
this
what
is
I
a good
lean
lesson
towards.
to learn for next time.
I lean towards that she thought that she was saying things that somebody would like.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I think
Because
I don't think she was just going in
she's
there.
been taking advice
Yeah.
from women on how to be a woman that men and what you should be in regardless of men. You know, it's the same group of people who say, "I wear makeup for me. I don't wear them for men." Really? You're wearing a negligee, effectively calling it a dress in rouge and going and just sitting around your house. No, of course you're not. You're trying to attract. Just be honest
Right,
about it.
yeah.
But then when men go, "Yeah, but this is what we want." Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And then they have a decision to make. Look, let me just walk you through this as logically as humanly possible. Okay. Because we're going to get to some stats of young men checking out of the dating pool. And I really think we need to fix this because I still am very much pro-marriage. It's the bedrock
Yes.
of modern civilization and families, but we're not going to have them anymore. It's not going to be a thing if we keep going this way. And men have accommodated far too much. And you see here, they're willing to go onto a blind dating show and still vilified for not liking someone's personality. Let's
Don't the
assume for a
Mormons still
second.
get multiple wives? Is that still a thing?
I don't know if it's still a thing. I don't
mean,
think
that-
on this
you
show.
should
They
have
claim
pretty
it was
good
never a
odds,
thing.
Okay.
They claim it was never.
They claim it was never a thing, but
Well, that's bullcrap.
So if you, and I mean this, if the consequences, if the stakes are, you are betting your life, okay? You are betting your life. All right. Do you think that someone who mentioned themselves 15 times and I believe at least 8 expensive, highly stimulating activities as her primary points of interest is more likely or less likely to get bored with day-to-day life as most people live? You're betting your life. More likely or less likely? You know the answer. If you're betting your life, and assume you're betting your life and you're looking for marriage, you're looking for something real. That's the gamble you're making. You are betting your life. Do you think that someone who is getting certified in scuba and going skiing and doing all of these activities and looking for someone to accommodate said activities is more likely or less likely to have spent time on the skills, both pragmatic, domestic skills, and interpersonal skills, to be a good wife, mother, and create peace in a personal relationship? You're betting your life, more likely or less likely? You're betting your life. Do you think someone who has a moment to make a pitch, looking for allegedly a serious partner, who never once considers, mentions you, or how she may help fulfill a man's needs or make your life better, it never comes up, do you think that this person you're betting your life is more likely or less likely to be a selfless person, or to be a person who might consider your needs first every once in a while? If you were betting your life, what would you bet on those questions? Because here's the thing, if you're a young man and you're getting married in this country, you are. You are. Because that woman could marry you, could cheat on you in the Maldives. I use that as an example because it's supposed to be gone by now, global warming, but they're doing really well.
It's still there.
Could cheat on you in the Maldives, come back, say she's going to find herself because this is boring, and still take everything. Don't blame men for trying to make a smarter bet. That's my, and young men, make the smarter bet.
Yes.
Look for the qualities that you absolutely expect and need to have in a wife, in a mother. It's okay. Don't be guilted. You know what? Don't be guilted for wanting things that every single man has looked for in a woman since the beginning of time. It wasn't a travel buddy. It's never mattered in the past. It's okay that it doesn't matter to you now. And by the way, if you want a travel buddy, fine. That's fine. Because I bet you a lot of guys want that in their 20s too, right? They've bought into it and they've done 4 years of second adolescence and glorified alcoholism. But at a certain point, if you ever want a family, if you ever want a marriage, it's not just collecting, earning points and miles. Oh, you're still here? And you're still watching this on YouTube? You've probably noticed something is missing by now. I'm not here. That's because the live daily show is now streaming exclusively on Rumble weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tune in there, where nothing is censored.